In this lecture, we will see that if nth term, that is an, is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. In this, there are four terms. They are an, a, d and n. So if any AP is asked, then at least what should we know? First term and the common difference. We will see further what are the more characteristics of this common difference D. For any AP, a general AP, that is A plus D, A plus 2D and so on. So the nth term is A plus n minus 1 into D. Sometimes the nth term is expressed in the form of n, or any sequence when it is given in such a way that its general term is given in the form of n. Then we have to check whether this given sequence is an AP or not. So before we start doing the questions based on this, first we will check the given series or the sequence is AP or not. So that depends on one of the characteristics of this common difference D. When the sequence's general term is given, then we will see the D should be independent of n. So for example, the general term of any sequence is given, then we will check whether the D is independent of n or not. So the D is actually the difference of two consecutive terms. So we can say that an plus 1 minus an, that is the common difference D. So whenever this type of situation is given, the very first thing we will check that what is the D. And if that D is independent of n, then only this will be an AP, otherwise not. It means that the sequence or the series or the pattern which is given to us, it may not be AP. So the very first thing, whichever sequence is given or its general form is given, first we will check the D, and on the basis of D, we will proceed. So let's check this. Here, an is 3n minus 5. So an plus 1. In place of n, we will write n plus 1. So an plus 1 is equal to 3n plus 1 minus 5. So let's see the difference of these two. Means D is equal to an plus 1 minus an. So we will substitute it over here. So an plus 1 is 3n plus 1 minus 5 and an is minus 3n minus 5. On simplifying this, this will be 3n plus 1 means 3n plus 3 minus 5. Now this will be 3n, but this minus sign into this minus sign will become plus. So ultimately 3n and 3n are cancelled. Plus 5 and minus 5 is also cancelled. So what is D? D is 3. So as we get the general term of any sequence, the very first thing we will check the common difference, and that common difference should be independent of n. Then only the given sequence will be an AP. So on the basis of that, we can also find out the terms of this AP. So if general term or nth term is 3n minus 5, then the first term will be n is equal to 1. Second term n is equal to 2. Like this we can write the terms of this AP also. So first term will be 3 into 1 minus 5, that is 3 minus 5 and that is minus 2. So A2 will be 3 into 2 minus 5, that is 6 minus 5, that is 1. So we can see easily here the common difference is 3. So on the basis of this, means first thing we have to remember that when the general term is given, the very first thing you have to check the D. If it is independent of n, then we will proceed further. Now, for this general term or nth term of any AP, okay, the type of questions we will discuss now, out of these four, if something is asked, or it is given that if the first term of an AP is 3 and the common difference is 5, then form that AP. So simply we will apply this general rule over there. Means first term is given, common difference is given, so easily we can form an AP. So now we will do some questions based on this. Now the type of questions on the basis of nth term which can be asked, as I said, A can be given, D can be given, we can find out a particular number of term. But before that, one more example I'll give you what I was talking about previously, that D should be independent of N. Let's see, for any sequence whose nth term is given as 2n square plus 1. So we will see D first. And what is D? D is an plus 1 minus an. It means that for this nth term, we have to first see what is n plus 1th term. So in place of n, we will write n plus 1. So that would be n plus 1 the whole square plus 1. So on further solving it, this is a plus b the whole square. So a square plus twice ab plus b square and plus 1. Further, if we will open the bracket, it will be 2n square plus 4n plus 2 plus 1. So ultimately, the n plus 1th term would be 2n square plus 4n plus 3. Now let's check this D. What is D? The difference of n plus 1th term and an. So n plus 1th term's value is now, D will be 2n square plus 4n plus 3. This is the value of n plus 1th term. Minus. Now what is nth term? 2n square plus 1. So this is 2n square plus 1. So when you open the brackets, this is 2n square plus 4n plus 3 minus 2n square minus 1. 2n square is cancelled. But D is coming, 4n plus 3 minus 1 will be plus 2. So in D, if n is falling on the basis of whatever nth term of any sequence is given. I discussed in my previous video what is the meaning of sequence. Sequence means any rule is applied over there. So it is not always necessary that every sequence is an AP. So in this case, what we have seen, any series, any sequence whose nth or general term is given by 2n square plus 1, its D is having n. It means this sequence is there, but it is not an AP. So this we have to check as we start. We get the nth term, we will calculate n plus 1th term, and we will find the difference of these two if the difference is independent of n, which we are noticing over here, it is not. That is why the given nth term of this sequence will not form an AP. After this, now we will discuss some questions based on this. Now we will discuss some questions based on nth term formula, that is an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. So for example, if any AP is given, that is 2, 7, 12 and so on, and it is asked that find out the 10th term. You can represent this 10th term as A10 or T10 or any letter 10 over there. Clear? Now in this it is already given it is an AP. But suppose the question is given, check whether it is an AP or not. So what did I tell you? You will find out the D, and on the basis of D we will decide whether it is an AP or not. But already AP is given, then a particular term can be asked. So here in this question, it is given that the AP is 2, 7, 12. There is an infinite AP is given, and we have to find its 10th term. For the 10th term, we will apply the formula of nth term. Here n is equal to how much? 10. Because which number of term we are asking? 10th term. Now, first term is 2 and the common difference will be A2 minus A1. So for any 1, if we are calculating A2 minus A1, it will work because already it is given an AP. So it is 7 minus 2, that is 5. So in this case, T10 will be A plus 10 minus 1, because the formula says nth term is A plus n minus 1 into D. So here n is 10, that is why it will be A plus 9D. So what is A over here? 2. And what is D? 5. So it is 2 plus 45, that is 47. So if the series or the AP is given, then we can calculate any particular number of term. Okay, now next thing we will see, suppose any series is given in the descending order. This is what we have seen here. D is positive. Now let's do another example where D is negative. Now if the AP is given as 21, 18, 15 and so on, we have to check which term of this AP is minus 81. Now as I told you, AN, A, D and N. If in this question I just discuss what all is given. So what is given? First term is given. D we can calculate because A2 minus A1 will give us D. And this term we will say is nth term. So what is asked? Asked is this N. Okay. So we will say let minus 81 be nth term. Okay, so we'll apply the formula of nth term, that is an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d, where we know a, we know d and we also know an. So on the basis of this we will calculate n. So substitute the values. Minus 81 is equal to, here a is 21. Now d is a2 minus a1, and what is a2? 18. So you have to be careful when the next coming term means a2 is lesser than a1. In that case d will be negative. We had discussed earlier already that d can be positive, d can be negative or d can be 0 also. So in this case d is minus 3. So here we will substitute the value of d as minus 3. Now this will be 21 minus 3n plus 3, that is minus 81. This is equal to 21 plus 3 is 24, minus 3n is equal to minus 81. Further we will solve it. Minus 81 minus 24 is equal to minus 3n. Now this will be minus 104. Both are negative. It will be minus is equal to minus 3n. Now this will give us the value of n. So n is equal to minus 105 upon minus 3. Don't forget to shift this minus 3 on other side. So this minus sign will be cancelled. So 3 is equal to, n is equal to 35. 3 is a 9, carry 1. So what have we observed? We have seen that the 35th term will be minus 81. Okay. So in this example what we have seen, that if a is known, d is known and nth term is known, then we can calculate n. Now if you notice this AP, it is in descending order, d is negative. So definitely somewhere 0 will fall. So we will see that which term is 0. So again we have to find out n. So nth term is 0, that we will assume. Now whenever we calculate this n, we have to always remember n should not be a fractional value. N should always be a positive integer, or we can say n should come as a natural number. So in this case the question further, if I am adding one more concept in this, that which term is 0 in this given AP. So what will we assume? Let 0 be the nth term. Formula is same. Values we will simply change a little bit. That is, instead of minus 81, nth term is now 0. So here we will write nth term as 0. First term is as it is. N minus 1, d is as it is. Now if we will further solve it, it is 21 minus 3n plus 3. Now this is 0. This 21 will bring this side. So that will be minus 21 and this will be minus 3 is equal to minus 3n. Minus 21 minus 3 will be minus 24 is equal to minus 3n. So what we have observed here, n is equal to 8 because 24 upon 3 will be 8. It means 8th term will be 0. So in these type of questions, as I said, nth term, first term, common difference and n. So any 2 or any 3 terms can be given and fourth we can find out. Here what we had already, it was given to us, that was a was known, d was known and first part nth term was also known. So we calculated n. In the second case, what we have observed, we have seen that which term is 0 in the given AP. So like this we can do the questions based on what formula? Nth term. So this is all about a general or nth term type of questions. We'll discuss further some more questions of this type.